I think local LLMs have a very good place in that they're, super cheap.
Super cheap.
Even compared to a model like Haiku, which is quite cheap, a local LLM is going to save you a lot of money in the long term.
Long term.
Short term, absolutely not. I think local LLMs have a certain community that feels very Arch Linux-esque.
You should use Quen 2.6.
And so envision the neckbeards, the sweat. Basically, they have these $10,000 GPUs. And so, of course, they're going to go around and say, oh, I save all this money. Yeah, but you also have a $10,000 GPU.
10,000.
Oh, yeah. All I got is a Maxwell. I can barely run it. Another benefit is, privacy. A lot of people don't like the idea of Satya Nadella looking over their path. Satya is smell. Even though, in my opinion, a lot of the privacy complaints that people have are a little bit selfish. I think our data as an individual is not as important as we think.
We really don't care.
And so when people complain about privacy, they really do assume that there is some kind of magnifier on their specific use case. And I don't believe that. I think there's too much data going in and out for them to hyper-focus. Unless you're I'm not even going to start with unless you are. There's nothing you're doing that is so important that privacy is that big of a concern, at least in my opinion.
It's not.
Another benefit is affordability, as I mentioned, but that affordability comes at a cost. And so I want to talk about that as well.
Cost is cost.
Yes, the local LLM won't cost you on the API level.
No, it'll cost you.
However, you have to realize what you are costing. Number one, you're costing your time. I don't know if you've ever used a local LLM before, but it is not as exciting as you think if you haven't. If you have an average computer, you're pretty much limited to about a 20 bill per AM model on the upper end, I'd say. Realistically, some people's computers, you may not even be able to get that far in.
That's assuming you don't want to do shit on the side.
A 20 bill per AM model is capable of summarizing pretty okay. But anything advanced, you're going to run into a lot of headache.
Just use fucking GPT.
And so, yeah, sure, you're saving some cost on the API side, but what you're losing is your sanity. You're losing your time. Not to mention, when the LLM is doing its job, your computer is completely in jail.
Task Manager has never sweated this hard.
And so, although no connections is my favorite word, I like the idea of not being connected to a cloud, but at the same time, we have to really think of it as a whole picture here. Right? If I came to you and I said, oh, I'm a vegan, but I eat chicken for lunch.
Okay, that doesn't count.
It's like you can't just claim that general term, and then in reality, it's not as general as you're saying. And so when we say, yeah, we're saving money, we're yada yada, sure, you're saving money in a very specific part of the equation, but as a whole, are you really saving money?
No, you're not. Absolutely
and so
not.
Personally, I spend anywhere from, I would say on average, about $150 to $300 a month on AI personally. And so that's not counting work, right? Most people, they get some token allowance at work. I feel like a child saying that, but we get some allowance at work. This is separate, $150, $300 a month. And so for me, I've went down this hole of looking for an LLM local that fits my needs, because I would love to save money, trust and believe. I don't feel good about my LLM token usage. I really don't. And so, I mentioned that their community is very Arch Linux-esque. And I would almost go as far as to say, when I'm searching for a local LLM, it almost feels like I'm modding Skyrim.
Titty mods, river mods, sky mods, titty sky mods.
If you've ever modded Skyrim, it's as if you spend 10 hours modding the game to get it perfect, right? I want these jiggle physics. I want these tree branches.
I think I'm done with the game now. I just got out of the cave and kind of bored.
And then when you get to actually playing the game, you realize that the fun was the journey, right? The friends were the enemies we made along the way. Or I don't know how it goes, but to me, that's how local LLMs feel. It feels like in your head, you envision what it could do and what it can be, but then when you get to it, it's not as amazing as you think.
Try again. Come on. You can get it.
You can just try it again, but do it right this time.
I mean, I personally don't do a ton of like super complex work, and there's times where I have to reprompt, and refine even a trillion param model. And so imagine you hand me a 20 bill param model. There's really no way I'm getting shit done. I'm gonna end up wasting time. I'm gonna be frustrated.
Your rage.
And so it's like, if you hate hallucinations, well, guess what, buddy? You're getting hallucinations on everything with a 20 bill param. You're screwed when it comes to that. And if you need info from, excuse me, if you need info from an up-to-date document,
Should have thought of that. You should have thought of that last time.
sorry, this is the life you chose. You chose to be in jail. And so you don't get that up-to-date document. Now you have to manually go find it, feed it into the LLM, hope that you didn't just use up the entire context of your tiny little LLM guy, right? And so it's frustrating. And so the dumb part about local LLMs to me is the idea that, hey, we're getting privacy, we're getting security, but at the same time, we're going back into the alleyway and we're dealing drugs with the cloud-based LLM, right? So I might use my local LLM for some things, but when I need to do the actual work, guess what? I still need to use the cloud LLM.
It's fine if we do drugs as long as it's only on Monday.
And so are we really gaining much?
No.
Like I was saying, it's like a vegan claiming, hey, I ate chicken for only lunch. Okay, but you can't just, come on. What are we talking about here? And so I'd rather just, at least in the time being, maybe 20 years from now, this will change. But as of right now, I'm going to have to use a cloud LLM at some point anyway. I might as well just use it for all my tasks. Why waste my efforts on one specific part?
Might as well just get it over with.
Now, I will say, I think the middle ground here, and this assumes privacy and security is not your concern.
Who needs that?
I believe the middle ground LLMs are going to be the future.
Middle wage, middle grade.
I think that flagship LLMs, to get them better, you pretty much have to up the cost.
It's already too fucking expensive.
Right? It's getting harder and harder to get these flagships to be better than the prior release. And if you manage to, you're spending a shite ton on tokens.
I can't afford Mythos.
Whereas the middle tier LLMs, we can still kind of do some distillation.
McDonald's LLMs.
Your Burger King Big Mac Whopper deal.
We could still make some improvements. And so I do envision a world where the Haikus of the world, and then Microsoft, they just released their own Haiku-esque model. Super cheap, super fast.
It kind of slaps. I would say it's the best thing since Bill Gates. Never mind.
These models are likely going to be our future. And so, yes, they're not the best at everything, but they're cheap as hell, they're fast as hell, and that's all we want.
That's all I want. I just want money, free money. Free tokens, free money.
Right? I think most people, that's what they want. They don't care that much about privacy and security. At least me personally, I ain't doing nothing that crazy, okay? Maybe you're not like me,
What are you building, dude? What are you building?
but to me, the privacy and security part, whatever. I care about token cost, and I care about speed. And these models are really good at that. Like, sure, you're not going to do super advanced, crazy tasks with Haiku or this Flash model. You can. I mean, I think if you put time and effort into directing it the right way, you probably could get a lot done.
You could create a girlfriend.
But you're saving so much money. And to me, there's it's basically this. Do you want 70% of the ability for 30x cheaper?
Yes.
Or is that 30% really worth you spending 30x more? To me, it's not.
No, absolutely not. Give me that 30%. Give me the 10 times savings. I'll take that any day of the week.
I'll take the 70%. Maybe I'll have to wrestle with it a bit. I don't care. I'll save that 30x. Trust and believe. And so at the end of the day, I think, yes, local LLMs are nice. I think there's certain use cases. I think for summarizing things, I think if we were to fine tune them for very specific tasks, we do run into a situation where it can do better. We do have models, like I was saying with the 20 bill. These are coding specific models and they struggle with pretty advanced code. And so I don't think we're there yet with 20 bill.
A kindergarten kid that's never used a computer before.
I think we would realistically, at this point in time, probably need 100 bill, 200 bill param models to really feel we can have it actually do useful things.
$300 bill, to be honest with you.
And at that point, you have a $10,000 computer or $10,000 GPU. Not even, you're probably $20,000 computer, right?
I ain't got that.
And so is it worth using a local LLM today? Absolutely not. I think unless you're rich and you just are having fun, sure. But if you want actual work done, you're stuck on the cloud, and it's probably going to be that way for a while.
I'll stay on the cloud. It is nice up here.